Note 6C. Writing quadratic functions given a graph. Objective. I can write a quadratic function given a graph. Essential question. How do I use zeros to write a quadratic function? While you're doing these notes, make sure you join the Pear Deck, contribute to the slides, watch the video, fill out the foldable, and ask questions as needed. On this slide, go ahead and draw a picture using stick figures. Vocabulary. Become familiar with these words. Zeros. The x part of the x-intercept, also known as roots and solutions. Factors. An expression that is part of the product of a multiple. Expression. A phrase that can contain coefficients, quantities, variables, nouns, and operators, add, subtract, multiply, etc. They do not contain relations, equal, less than, greater than, etc. Multiple, the product of two or more factors that are distributed. Let's look at this example. Write quadratic expressions given zeros. So if you're given the zeros 8 and -1, your factors would be x minus 8 and x plus 1. You change the signs of the zeros. For this one, we have zeros -2, 7, so your factors would be x plus 2, x minus 7. For this one, the zeros is -6 and 9. The factors for this would be x plus 6, x minus 9. Now the a could be anything here. Usually if they're asking you these kind of questions, they will give you either a upward facing graph or a downward facing graph. If you have an upward facing graph, a is positive. If it's a downward facing graph, a is negative. Okay, now you do this one. Drag the icon over the correct answer choice. You're given the zeros 5 and -8. What factors would this be for? Write quadratic expressions given zeros. So here are some other zeros, but this time they're fractions. So the first step will be the same, x minus 3/4, x minus 1/2. Now we want to simplify the fractions, which they're already simplified, and then slide the denominators to the front. So then your factored form would be 4x minus 3 and 2x minus 1. Although these are useful to work with, especially when finding the zeros, your factored form will always just have integer numbers and not fractions in them. Okay, now you do this one. Drag the icon over the correct answer. You're given the zeros 7/8 and 3/2. What would be the factors for this? Multiply binomials review. Okay, so you have x plus 7 and x minus 5. We will write those out on the box here. So we have x plus 7 and x minus 5. We're going to find the area of all four boxes. So x times x is x squared. X times -5 is -5x. X times 7 is a plus 7x. And then 7 times -5 is a -35. Combine the like terms, which are these two. And so there you have x squared minus 5x plus 7x, which would be plus 2x, and then minus 35. This would be your standard form. writing a quadratic function is given a graph. So you're given these graphs right here. This was opening upwards. You want to identify the zeros on the graph. If you're graphing this on Desmos, all you have to do after you've graphed it is click on the points that cross the X line. So it appears that these points right here is 2 and 4. So our zeros are 2 and 4. So your factors would be x minus 2 and x minus 4. And it's a positive a because opening upwards. And if you wanted standard form, you do the box method to multiply these out. So we have f of x equals x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay, now for this next one, we have 0 and 2. And it's opening downwards, so we're going to have a minus sign in the front. A has a negative. So we have x minus 0 and x minus 2. So that's really just negative x times x minus 2. Distribute the negative x to each of those, and you get f of x equals negative x squared plus 2x. Now you do this one. Draw the slide. Identify the zeros. Put them here. Write the factors. Write the answer in standard form. How do you feel about this topic? Can you explain it to others? Are you not quite sure about this topic yet? You need more practice? Or somewhere in between? Drag the icon on what you feel about this topic. On the last slide, write out your daily reflection. How do I use zeros to find a quadratic function? Type your response.